Hi, everyone, and welcome to KYC Know Your Crypto. And this is not a regular episode of KYC. This is a live stream. This is my very first live stream. So clearly not really rehearsed here. I think what the plan is, I'm just going to go through some tabs that I have opened, look at some of the crypto prices in the overall market today. I've got some news stories that have hit over the last day or so that I think would be nice to talk about. So let's get into it. And here's my Brave browser. Perfect. All right. So first of all, taking a look at the markets, obviously we've got Bitcoin at the top, 47K, Ethereum 1500. It's been a difficult week in crypto. No matter what news article you're reading, or if you're on crypto Twitter, or if you're just looking at your portfolio, it's clear that the last week has not been very easy for people. But I think if you've got a good long-term mindset and you're going to be in this space for a long time, I think these dips you're going to come to know that they're just normal market behavior. Sometimes it's manipulation from whales and from other players, but I think overall it's just these are healthy pullbacks. And you've probably heard a number of people say that. You've probably heard a number of people say that the bull market is over, it's coming to an end. I personally do not think that. Even today, we can see coins like Cardano, ADA. I mean, it's down 2% over the last hour, but look what it's done over the last week, 32%. In the last day when everything was more or less dipping, Cardano managed to go up over 16%, which I think is fantastic. We have Binance Coin in the top four. It's still staying above $200, and it's just crazy to think that Binance Coin was less than $100 just a couple weeks ago, and we've seen so much growth there. Actually, today what I do have set up is I am going to talk a little bit about Cardano. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the Binance Smart Chain because I've got a video coming out on Sunday, and I'm going to talk about a couple of Binance Smart Chain coins that I think should be on everyone's radar. I know some people overall don't like Binance as far as it being a centralized exchange, a CEX, CEX, of course. But Binance Smart Chain is decentralized, so I do think that there's some merit in checking out some of the projects on Binance Smart Chain. They can't be ignored. Gas fees are a serious issue, and they have been for a while on Ethereum. So if you're using Uniswap, if you're using SushiSwap, if you're using 1inch, actually, we've got a story on 1inch today that I want to look at. 1inch is actually going to be, they're going to be available and trading Binance Smart Chain coins. I read one article earlier that said that 1inch was migrating over to Binance Smart Chain. That's not true. You'll still be able to exchange ERC20 tokens, Ethereum tokens on 1inch, but you'll also be able to trade Binance Smart Chain coins as well. So 1inch, I mean, that's a really, really smart move in my opinion, because they know that this market is filled with a lot of people who only like centralized exchanges, who only like Bitcoin, who only like Ethereum coins, and also there's Binance Smart Chain people, and there's also individuals like myself who like all these types of coins, and they're not really caring necessarily which chain they're on, and they're still willing to trade and invest in these coins. So 1inch definitely leading the way, and offering their services on the Binance Smart Chain. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think it'll be very interesting to see once Cardano launches, smart contract dApps on its blockchain. It'll be interesting to see if a Uniswap clone type emerges on Cardano, or if one of the current swap platforms actually makes its way over to Cardano. And again, in the same fashion as 1inch, it's not that I don't ever see Uniswap saying we're not going to be trading ERC20 tokens anymore. We're gonna take ourselves off the Ethereum blockchain. I don't see that happening. I think it'll be more of a interoperable type of situation where you'll see some of these swap platforms really work to develop and be interoperable with other blockchains and all the tokens within these other blockchains. So one story that I found interesting, well, not really interesting, but I think it's kind of nice. It's some bullish sentiment. MicroStrategy has now amassed $4.5 billion in Bitcoin. And large companies, institutions, of course, their plan is to hold Bitcoin for a lot longer than 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. So some people they see this article and they say, well, you know what, the bull run can't be over because MicroStrategy, Tesla, they own all this money in Bitcoin. And that's true. I mean, I think that the intention is that they're going to hold Bitcoin for at least the next 4 to 5 years. I mean, you've seen Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy say that he intends on holding Bitcoin for the next 100 years. So they've got a long-term approach in mind, which completely makes sense. Does that mean that the bull market will go on or it'll end? It doesn't answer that question, but aside from everything that I've just said, I absolutely do not believe that we're at the end of the bull run. I think that we're time-wise, I did a video on this recently. It's called Escape the Bull Run, or how to escape the bear market. We don't want to escape the bull run. Let me just bring it up here. Okay. See if I can find my own page here. So it's this video right over here, Escape the Bear Market. And in that video, I essentially talk about how, between time and price, they're two different things. And, with time, I think that we're 2/3 or 3/4 of the way into this bull run, which doesn't leave us a lot of time. Maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe 10 months. No one can really ever predict the top. And if anyone ever does predict the top, I can guarantee you there's an element of luck in predicting the top. But that's not to say that there will be some people who catch the top and they sell at the right time, but they're in the minority. And the majority of people, as much as they want to time the top, they won't be able to. But time-wise, I think we're 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through this bull run. But price-wise, so that's the opportunity to see some more price action and some volatility and some upwards trajectory. I do think that we're anywhere from 30 to 50% at this point into realizing the optimal gains of this bull market. And I think that once we're in the 60, 70, 80% territory of completing this bull cycle, as far as money wise, I think that we're going to see some insane gains, and we're going to see, retail is here now, but I think that we're going to see retail really here once we start seeing commercials and different things about some of these altcoins, and not just Bitcoin and even Ethereum anymore, but what if you see a commercial about the Binance Smart Chain? I mean, it's absolutely possible. And once you see that, that's when you're going to see this rush of money come into crypto, like we've seen recently. I mean, there has been a small rush of money coming into crypto recently, but realistically, the total market cap of all the coins, it's still around 1.5 trillion. I think here it is here. All right. So the total market cap of all of cryptocurrency is $1.4 trillion. That's not that much still in comparison to gold. Let's not even talk about derivatives. Derivatives is like a trillion, it's a quadrillion-dollar market, I believe. So lots of room to grow in cryptocurrency, and even when this bull market ultimately ends, and when a downtrend begins, I still think that there's some cryptos that I don't ever see myself selling, or I'll hold on to 10 to 20% of my bags, but I wouldn't allow myself to sell everything because I'm trying to time the market, because it's impossible to time the market. And what if a super cycle happens? It it's a risk you don't want to take, especially if you are in this space because you believe in cryptocurrency and you believe cryptocurrency is the future. Depending on your age, for whoever watches this live stream, perhaps in a day or so, a week or so, a month or so from now, you have to ask yourself, no matter what your age is, are your grandkids, are your great grandkids, do you see them using paper money to pay for things in the future? How do you see the future unfold with respect to payment, authorization? It's certainly not with the dated system that we currently have. I can almost guarantee it. Watch any movie that discusses elements of the, or shows an element of the future, and I mean, you don't. It's you see the trend of technology always taking over in these movies, and it's just it's all about what is technology going to be like in the future. From films like Her, for example, where with Joaquin Phoenix, where the premise of that film is that he falls in love with an operating system, and in the movie it shows how normal that is. And at one point in that movie, Joaquin's character is having a conversation, I believe with Amy Adams, who's also in the movie, with her character, and they're talking about a few different people that they know that are in relationships with their operating systems. And if you think that world is very far away, I can tell you that world is not as far away as we think it is. And in that kind of world, do you really think people are going to be using paper cash to pay for things? Because I don't. I absolutely don't. All right, so let's move on to some other news items. I'm gonna get a little ranty and off topic, as you might imagine, in these live streams, and that's what I love about live streams. Personally, live streams, it kind of reminds me back in the days of the late '90s and the WWE or WWF wrestling, the Attitude Era, and how when they went live, just anything could happen. And I think that's really cool. So I hit 100 subs recently. I'm just gonna go and I'll bring that up here. I'm at 105 subscribers. I never thought after about 5 or 6 weeks of starting this channel that I would get anywhere close to that. So it's really awesome, and I just want to shout out to anyone who's watched the videos, left a comment, and just been supportive and encouraging in the comment section. It's been really nice to see. Okay, so let's continue onwards here. So yes, I was mentioning this earlier. DeFi exchange 1inch expands to Binance Smart Chain, citing ETH gas fees. I mean, if you've even been in crypto only for even about a month, you've probably heard of, at the very least, the gas fees when trying to buy, sell coins on exchanges, as well as staking and decentralized finance. DeFi has taken a big hit for these projects that they've got a great APY, but if you're an APY, it stands for average percentage yields. Or sorry, annual percentage yields. It's annual percentage yield, which just means if you see something like 100% annual percentage yields, that means that when you stake your money, if you actually staked it for a year, you would have made 100% profit. Or you would have essentially doubled your money if it's a 100% APY. A simple way of remembering APY, although it doesn't stand for this, but it also kind of works with average per year, kind of. So you can always think of it that way. And so if if on Uniswap, on Sushi Swap, there's opportunities to add liquidity pairs on a number of these DeFi platforms and projects. It gives you the opportunity to stake your coins to earn income every day, every week, every month. And the issue is that if you don't have a lot of money to put into these coins, because they're very volatile and there is risk in investing in cryptocurrency. And if you only want to spend a few $100s on a coin and hope that, for example, 10x's, you turn $300 into $3,000, and in the meantime you want to stake to earn passive income, how could you justify staking $300 when the gas fees on Ethereum are anywhere from 50 to 150 or $200? It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. So 1inch is an exchange that currently is on Ethereum, and they are going to be also offering their platform and their services to the Binance Smart Chain. So 1inch, a decentralized finance DeFi protocol for routing trades, is now live on Binance Smart Chain. I actually didn't know. I thought maybe it would have taken maybe a week or so. So it's live right now. So I think that's great. 1inch actually recently just did something called a vampire swap. And the reason why they call it a vampire swap is because, not a vampire swap, a vampire airdrop. My apologies. So they did a vampire airdrop, and what a vampire airdrop means is that they offered their coins to Uniswap users because you could say that supposedly they were sucking the blood of Uniswap users. So I actually received this airdrop because I had never used 1inch, but I've used Uniswap hundreds, if not thousands, of times at this point, and many times before the gas fees got crazy, mind you. And I received quite a large airdrop from 1inch, and I've used the platform now a couple of times since then just to kind of check it out. The fees are high on 1inch as well. I mean, it's all based on Ethereum anyway, and I think 1inch it's an aggregator, and it's probably better if you're making very large purchases. I think 1inch can save you some money, but only if you're making large purchases. So the price right now, I mean, this announcement came out, I think, over the past day, and 1inch, we're seeing a surge here. So it's up 16.8%. It's now worth $4.60. 1inch, I mean, it was worth around $5.50 a couple weeks ago, but obviously we've seen some dips. Let me go to the max chart here on CoinGecko, and it's interesting. I mean, there's some heavy resistance, looks like at $6 for 1inch, but I think this latest news it's going to lift it up to around $7, $8, $9, maybe even $10 over the next couple of weeks. I think people will find more utility with the 1inch token now that it's offering its services to the Binance Smart Chain. So I think we will see a good rise in 1inch. I always say wait for the dip, but you might still see a less than $5 1inch token as a good buying opportunity before this thing really takes off. Market cap for 1inch isn't even $1 billion. It's half a billion. It's 458 million. So a lot of room for 1inch to grow. I'm gonna be doing a video on 1inch probably in a couple of weeks, just because I do have a schedule of things that I want to talk about. So next article here, Coinbase reveals it has executed, looks like $1 billion crypto buys for some of the largest institutions in the world. So Coinbase, it's a US-based exchange. They revealed last month that they will be going public, which means they will be on the market. You can buy stocks, you can buy shares, of Coinbase. And $1 billion of an executed buy for large institutions, it's not that much money. But the reason why this is quite relevant is because this could be potentially a snowball effect. And 1 billion is just to start. We could see a lot more purchases from Coinbase on behalf of large institutions, and you could really see crypto take off over the next few months, just because large institutions, they'll have easier on ramps to be able to buy cryptocurrency, and that's enticing to people, of course. And and large institutions, they're not necessarily going to be going on the open market to purchase cryptocurrency. They probably do that, over the counter, of course, as they say. So you could still expect quite a lot of activity when news like this emerges, right? Okay, so the next piece of news is Cardano. It is back in the top three. It's now top three cryptocurrency as the price soars 27% in 24 hours. Now, look, if you're, Cardano can be very divisive. I've found. I think Cardano is a very interesting project. A lot of people have criticized it because they feel that there really isn't any utility for the Cardano token, which goes by the ticker ADA or ADA. And I tend to agree with some of that criticism. When they released when they reached the Shelley part of their roadmap, that's when staking was introduced to Cardano in the form of stake pool operators. I plan on doing a longer Cardano video. I've done some altcoin videos in the past where I obviously have been mentioning Cardano. I think it's absolutely going to the moon. But I think beyond the staking utility right now, people they're poised and they're waiting to be able to put these coins to use. And I think once Goguen, which is the next phase of their roadmap, once that fully goes live, we're going to start to see decentralized applications in DeFi come to Cardano. There's apparently a deal with African countries in the works. Charles Hoskinson, who he's the founder of IOHK, which is the company that has created Cardano. And Charles is, he's been going on live streams lately. He's got his own YouTube channel, by the way. And, Charles consistently talks about, some of the deals that are going to be happening. And he keeps saying that he can't say much more until some official information, they're allowed to release it. And apparently some big news was supposed to drop this month. And, we're now at February 26th. There's only a couple of days left in the month. So really begs the question of when some of this news is going to drop. So this is the chart for Cardano at the moment. Very interesting, as I said earlier on in the stream, that, Cardano had the ability to kind of continue its upward trajectory, while some other coins have really dipped over the last week. Cardano has these were the I guess it was February 21st and 22nd when we had those major major dips across the entire market, specifically Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB. And yet Cardano over the last few days has really bounced up, and it's gone even higher than it was before the dips. Whereas, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they've been kind of bouncing, but, and they've been hitting lower highs and lower lows. Cardano has been continuing its way up. And I think that is in large part due to all the news that really is going to drop, I think, over the next few weeks for Cardano. And I think it could really send the coin itself to potentially around $2 to $2.50. I think that once some of these major news stories hit and we see, the Goguen mainnet sense, I think that's when the utility of this token, it's going to bottom out at around $1 for the bull run. And you'll never see Cardano below $1 again, unless we do enter the bear market, and perhaps Cardano comes down below $1 after that point. But I have a feeling that they're going to be so sustainable at that point that you may never see, once Cardano hits $3, $4, $5, you may never see it below $1 again. So could be a very good time. I mean, maybe best to wait for another dip. Maybe it drops between $1 to $1.15. It could absolutely still fall below $1. Very possible as well. It's cryptocurrency, everyone. We see a lot of volatility, even with coins that are fundamentally very sound. The only difference between coins that are fundamentally sound and coins that aren't are that, when we see the major dips in the fundamental projects, we know that they're going to bounce back because they have great fundamentals behind them. Okay, so next news story, it's still on Cardano. I found this story fairly interesting. Just gonna make it, can I make it bigger here? Okay, so a global crypto investment fund, FD7 Ventures, is planning on selling $750 million worth of Bitcoin to increase its Cardano and Polkadot holdings. So, again, very, very interesting story here. This is, I believe it's an investment company. I found this quote specifically pretty funny. Aside from the fact that Bitcoin was first to market and society has given it meaning as a store of value, I think Bitcoin is actually pretty useless. I mean, I do not agree with that at all. It's just a quite a funny quote to read. And so apparently over the next month, they will be selling, just $750 million. And they're going to be putting that into Cardano and Polkadot because they see Cardano and Polkadot as the future. I would not be doing this. Personally, I would be continuing to invest in Cardano and Polkadot. I have bags in both of those projects as well as Bitcoin, of course. But I don't think I would be I would not be liquidating my Bitcoin to put it into other cryptocurrency. I always look at Bitcoin as a bank. It is the 21st century, the new age bank for me. And when I make a nice gain from a coin, if I see something jump up 100%, it's a bull run. So I'm keeping a lot of that money into the coin. But when I'm pulling profits, I'm putting it into Bitcoin. That's the smart thing to do. And even if Bitcoin has gone up, 5% that day, but the coin that, the altcoin that has made 100%, has gone up clearly, 100% over the last day. Even with Bitcoin up, I will take that earning and I will put it into Bitcoin because you don't always need to wait for dips to buy Bitcoin. If your coins are outperforming, if your altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, that's when you want to take some profit. You want to take a bit off the top and you want to throw it into Bitcoin. And then if Bitcoin dumps, a day later, or a week later, check out another coin on your list and see if it hasn't dumped or see if it's somehow like Cardano has continued on the upward trajectory. Then you might want to consider taking some profit from that coin and buying the Bitcoin dip. And this, of course, is a scenario where, if you're fiat poor, as I am sometimes, that's okay. You can't buy every dip, but sometimes you have to look at the coins that are going against the tide. And they're, when we see those bloody days on the market, and you've got those few coins that somehow they only managed to drop a few percent, or one of them is up 5%, take some of that out and put it into Bitcoin and buy the Bitcoin dip. That's, not financial advice, but that's my method. So, hopefully that makes sense to you. And if you're doing something similar or you're putting it into Ethereum, which I think is, I joked on Twitter the other day and I said that Ethereum has become a store of value because it's so expensive to move, and it's kind of partly true, but I do see Ethereum emerging as a store of value over the next few years, just because it's just becoming increasingly more valuable as an asset. And I'm saying this amidst all the bearish news and sentiment over Ethereum over the last few weeks, because it hasn't really had the run-ups that we hoped. I mean, a lot of people thought by the end of February that we would see Ethereum at $2,000, $2,500, maybe even $3,000. I still think we're going to hit those numbers. It's just Ethereum doesn't always do quite what we wanted. Bitcoin doesn't do quite what we always want it to do. Okay, so I just also, want to mention the Binance Smart Chain. I'm not a Binance Smart Chain fanboy, but I'm realistic in that, you know, if Ethereum has some scalability issues and with the gas fees, I'm not going to turn a blind eye to the Binance Smart Chain. So if you don't know what the Binance Smart Chain is, I am going to be putting out a video in 2 days. It's Friday night right now. I'm going to put out a video on Sunday. And what we're going to do in that video is discuss the Binance Smart Chain and discuss a couple coins that I am very, very bullish on. So the Binance Smart Chain, it's a fast and secure decentralized digital asset exchange based on the highly performant matching engine built on distributed consensus. So the, the native Binance token, or the coins, excuse me, that are on the Binance Smart Chain, they're essentially these BEP2 or BEP20 tokens. And so if we take a look at CoinGecko, I've loaded the Binance Smart Chain projects here. And so of course, the Binance Coin functions like Ethereum on the Binance Smart Chain. That's kind of your gateway. If you have BNB, you can essentially buy any Binance Smart Chain coin. And then of course, the number two coin on the Binance Smart Chain is PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap is essentially, it's the Uniswap of the Binance Smart Chain. I remember when PancakeSwap first came out, I just thought that this was just a rug pull in the making, another food coin. And, it's really, really held its own, PancakeSwap. I am staking my cake tokens at the moment. I will show you all about that on Sunday. I think it's going to be a really good video. And so these are some of the other Binance Smart Chain projects. I've been hearing a lot of interesting things about Spartan Protocol. I may decide to cover that in a future video, although right now it's getting, it's gotten slaughtered over the last week, but so have all these other coins here. Auto down 65%, Ditto down 28%, ThugsFi, haven't heard of that. If you ask me, that would sound like, another potential rug pull project, but I don't want to slam any projects that I don't know about. I'm literally just hearing about ThugsFi now. We've got Fry World with the ticker Fries, that's down 46%. So, a lot of hits over the last week that we've seen, we've seen a lot of these coins taking hits, taking beatings, but I think it's par for the course. It's the market's cooling off a bit. It was a little too beefy. It was a little too frothed up, and I think this pullback is very healthy. So one of the projects that I'm definitely going to be covering in my video on Sunday is it's called Berry Data, and it goes by the ticker BRY. And so Berry Data in a nutshell, think of it, it's an oracle, so it's like Chainlink, it's like Dia, it's like API 3. It's like band protocol, DOS protocol, Zap. So what is Berry Data? Berry Data is a transparent, community verified price oracle on the Binance Smart Chain. Berry Data provides a trustless and decentralized alternative for off-chain data. Also provides the infrastructure for decentralized applications to query off-chain data by properly incentivizing miners to provide data. So I think, it's very interesting. When the Binance Smart Chain launched, in my head, I was thinking like, is Chainlink going to be the oracle on, these are things that they're quick thoughts that sometimes pop off in your mind, but I never, thought to look into it more. And then really just a couple weeks later, I started hearing about this Berry Data project. Right now, Berry Data, it's trading for $11.67. Now, I did actually buy a good bag of this recently because of the dip. The last week, it's gone down 70%, just like so many other coins. But the high of this coin, after launching, was a few days after launch, and it hit $40, and then it just it got into this downward trend. And I do believe we might see some more boring action from again, the ticker's BRY, but we'll call it Barry for this video. I do think we're going to see some sideways action. Apparently Barry is going to be launching staking in the near future. So, near future to me sounds like maybe it's a month or two away. And I think once we get some more concrete news on when the staking actually launches, you're going to see, a pump from the news of it. And then when people actually begin to stake their BRY tokens, I think we'll see a further pump from there as well. So I do think it's quite a good buying opportunity now. I am going to be covering this one in my video on Sunday. I didn't really have much more planned for the live stream today other than just to go through some news, let you all know what I'm going to be doing for my video on Sunday. So if you got a chance to hang out tonight, or if you check this video out later, I do appreciate you stopping by. Again, this is the very first ever KYC live stream. I plan on doing a lot more of these, especially now that I have 100 subscribers. There could be an opportunity to catch a few of you online. I didn't really announce this in person. I just kind of went with it and just said, you know what, I'm going to live stream tonight. And so hopefully it came across okay. I do appreciate you all joining the stream, and I will see you in the next video.